We are at the final chapter of the Book of Marriage, level 2. Alhamdulillah. So without further ado, let's read the text of Abu Shuja first. He says, may Allah have mercy on him. Fasl, section. وَإِذَا فَارَقَ الرَّجُلُ زَوْجَتَهُ. And when the man separates from his wife, yani he divorced her. Remember, the word divorce, or yani, the meaning of divorce is expressed in Arabic with 3 words explicitly. There are 3 explicit names of divorce. You remember, inshallah. Firaq, sarah, and talaq. Yeah. Firaq, sarah, and talaq. Each one of those is an explicit divorce. Firaq is faraqa here. So when a man divorced his wife, walahu minha walad, having from her a child, فهي أحق بحضانته إلى 7 سنين. Then she is more entitled to custody until 7 years old. يعني ثم يخير بين أبويه. Then the child will be given the choice between his parents. Meaning, from time to time. فأيهما اختار سلم إليه. Whichever one of them he chose, he is submitted to. وشرائط الحضانة 7. And the conditions of custody are 7. Meaning, for the woman to have the greater right to custody, there are 7 conditions. Al-aqlu, the mind, sanity. Wal-hurriya, freedom. Let me go ahead and finish the text here. Wad-deen, religion. Wal-iffah, chastity. Wal-amana, trustworthiness. Wal-iqamah, residence in the same town as the father. Wal-khulu min zawj, and being single. Al-khulu, being devoid of a husband, min zawj. فإن اختل بشرط بسم الله فإن اختل شرط منها سقطت. So, if any of the conditions is lacking, then the right to custody is dropped from the woman. So then the father will take the greater right to custody. Okay, let's see the explanation. The explainer, Muhammad ibn Qaasim Al-Ghazzi, rahimahullah, he says, فصل في أحكام الحضانة. Section about the rules of custody. وهي لغة مأخوذة من الحضن. Linguistically, this name, حضانة, custody, is taken from حضن. بكسر الحاء, with a kasr on the ha, وهو الجنب, and the meaning of hidden. So hidden. Hadana is this, Hadana. Hadana. He's saying it comes from hidden. وهو الجنب, which is the side. The meaning of hidden is side. لضم الحاضنة الطفل لضم الحاضنة الطفل إليه. Why is custody called in Arabic hadana? Because this woman who has custody of her child is bringing the child to her side, pressing the child against her side. وشرعا حفظ من لا يستقل بأمر نفسه عما يؤذيه لعدم تمييزه. Religiously, custody is protection of someone who cannot independently take care of his own affair, in terms of warding off harm from himself. In terms of warding off harm from himself, due to his lack of distinguishing. Protecting someone who does not or is not independent in his personal affair. The protection of someone who is not independent in his personal affair because of not being able to ward off harm from himself due to his lack of discernment. كطفل, like a baby. وكبير ومجنون, or like an elderly person, or like a crazy person. So he's saying hadana is not just for a child. وإذا فارق الرجل زوجته وله منها ولد, and when the man separates from his wife while having from her a child, فهي أحق بحضانته, she shall be more deserving of custody of the child. أي بتربيته, meaning raising the child. بما يصلحه بتعهده بطعامه وشرابه وغسل بدنه وثوبه وتمريضه وغير ذلك من مصالحه. Meaning raising the child or taking care of the child, looking into the child's welfare by managing his food and drink and bathing, washing the body, and his clothing, and treating him or her, tamridihi, like being the child's nurse. I didn't want to say nursing the child, and it means something else. And other things in the child's welfare. So, Yani, then she will be more deserving of this task here. ومؤنة الحضانة على من عليه نفقة الطفل. And the expense of the custody, the expense of the custody is on the one obligated to support the child. The expense of the custody is on whoever is obligated to support the child, which originally would be the child's father if the child doesn't have his own money. وإذا امتنعت الزوجة من حضانة ولدها انتقلت الحضانة لأمهاتها. And when the wife, the ex-wife here, personally, yani, she has the right, but meaning, when I say here she has the right, means the right goes to her side. The right of custody goes to her side, but she can't take it. The right of custody goes to her side, but she can't take it. Will go to her mother's. So not immediately to the father. Important detail. وتستمر حضانة الزوجة إلى مضي 7 سنين. And the custody of the wife, yani the ex-wife, he's calling her Zawja here, and he faraqaha, he divorced her. So there's kind of figure of speech here. There's ta'wil in what we are saying here. This sentence has ta'wil, it's not a mistake. So he says the custody of the wife, the ex-wife, shall persist up until the passage of 7 years. وعبر بها المصنف لأن التمييز يقع فيها غالبا لكن المدار إنما هو على التمييز. Yes. And this is the way the author, Abu Shuja, expressed it up until 7 years. And the reason he said it that way is because that's when mental discerning usually occurs. 7 lunar years, that's about 6.5 years old solar. But truly, the judgment revolves around the mental discernment, not the years. So once the child reaches mental discerning, then the child is given choice from time to time. سواء حصل قبل سنين أو بعدها. Whether this discerning happened before, whether this discernment came early or late. ثم بعدها, so he's saying, what if the child is actually 7 but not discerning yet? Then the mother still has the right. ثم بعدها يخير المميز بين أبويه. Then after that, the discerning child will be given the choice between his parents. فأيهما اختار سلم إليه. And whichever of those two he chose, he shall be submitted to. فإن كان في أحد الأبوين نقص. Now, if one of the two parents has a deficiency or a handicap, perhaps, we're going to see what he says, is lacking in some way. Naqs, deficiency, a lack. كجنون, like insanity. فالحق للآخر ما دام النقص قائما به. Then the other parent shall have the right as long as that lack is an attribute of the other parent. Let me repeat. If one of the two parents has a deficiency or is lacking in a way, yani is incapable of being the guardian. And the example the explainer gives is like insanity, then the right to custody will stay with the other parent, mother or father, whichever one is not having that lack. وإذا لم يكن الأب موجودا خير الولد بين الجد والأم. And when the father is not present, then the child is given the choice between the grandfather and the mother. Nice detail. What this signals to for you. Still keeping that child in the other side of his family too, in both sides of his family. Father's not there, so she just keep him all the time. Let the grandfather take him, for example. وكذا يقع التخيير بين الأم ومن على حاشة النسب كأخ وعم. And likewise, the choice is given between the mother and someone else on the father's side, like a brother or an uncle. MashaAllah. Subhanallah. وشرائط الحضانة سبع. The conditions of custody are 7. أحدها العقل. The first of them, or one of them, is sanity. فلا حضانة لمجنونة. Therefore, there is no custody for a crazy woman. أطبق جنونها أو تقطع. Whether she has a permanent insanity or temporary insanity. فإن قل جنونها كيوم في سنة لم يبطل حق الحضانة بذلك. Unless the insanity that she does suffer from is rare, like one day out of the whole year, then she will not lose her right to custody. وَالثَّانِي الْحُرِّيَّةِ. The second is freedom, liberty. فَلَا حَضَانَةَ لِرَقِيقَةٍ. Therefore, there is no custody for a slave woman. Why? Because she has custody over her. There's custody over her. So it's not valid for her to have custody over someone else. فإن أذن لها سيدها في الحضانة وإن أذن لها سيدها في الحضانة. Even if her master allows her to have custody. even if her master allows her to have custody, meaning he says, yes, take your baby, go take care of your baby. Okay. This doesn't mean she has the right to custody because she's a slave woman. وَالثَّالِثُ الدِّينُ. The third is religion. فَلَا حَضَانَةَ لِكَافِرَةٍ عَلَى مُسْلِمٍ. Therefore, there is no custody for a disbelieving woman over a Muslim. Yeah, so if his wife were a Jew or a Christian, then he automatically will have the right to custody as a Muslim. What did the Prophet say, alayhi salatu wasalam? Very important hadith and very easy. Islam rises and is not risen over. This means always give the advantage to Islam and always give the advantage to the Muslims. This hadith is evidence for many cases, many cases. وَالرَّابِعُ وَالْخَامِسُ. The fourth and the fifth are الْعِفَّةُ وَالْأَمَانَةُ. Chastity and trustworthiness. فَلَا حَضَانَةَ لِفَاسِقَةٍ. Therefore, there is no custody for a major sinner woman. For a woman who is a great sinner. ولا يشترط في الحضانة تحقق العدالة الباطنة. And it's not a condition for the woman to have the right of custody that the inward trustworthiness is verified. It's not a condition for the woman to have the greater right to custody that the inward trustworthiness is verified. بل تكفي العدالة الظاهرة. Rather, the apparent trustworthiness is sufficient. So I think you know about the apparent trustworthiness and the inward trustworthiness or inner trustworthiness. The apparent trustworthiness is the trustworthiness that we grant to anyone that we don't know otherwise about. It's granted. We don't know about you being a major sinner, then we're going to say you are trustworthy. This is enough for a woman to have the right to custody. It's also enough for a witness to a marriage contract. And this is enough for some other cases. The inner trustworthiness is the trustworthiness based on knowing the individual. Like a Shafi'i or Malik. Someone like that, you're going to judge him as trustworthy because he's known. So it's not a condition for a person to be like Malik or a Shafi'i. It's not a condition for the woman to be like Malik or a Shafi'i to have the right to custody. Or for a person to be a witness to a marriage contract. We're not talking about knowledge here. We are talking about the trustworthiness. We are talking about the religiosity, the religiousness. وَالسَّادِسُ الْإِقَامَةِ. The sixth is residence. في بلد المميز. In the town of the residence in the town of the discerning child. Residence in the town of the discerning child. This is what the explainer says. Okay. Why pause there? Because I'm just thinking about the meanings of these things we are saying. We are saying, first of all, when we talk about this hadana, this custody, we are directing it towards the woman in particular in all of what we are saying here. She will have the greater right to custody under this condition, and this condition, and this condition. Okay. So, residency. This is for the woman. Residency where? The explainer says, in the town of the child. It's the town of the father. In the town of the father. He's going to say it. But maybe I'm missing something in terms of why he say it this way, in the town of the child. Yani, if the father moves away, he gets the right to custody. If the mother wants to move away, the father gets the right to custody. So that's why it's the town of the father. But let's see what he says. بأن يكون أبواه مقيمين في بلد واحد. By both of his parents being residents in the same town. فلو أراد أحدهما سفر حاجة. Now, if one of those parents, they are divorced, if one of them wants to travel for an errand, not to relocate, كحج وتجارة, like for pilgrimage or for business, any trade. طويلا كان السفر أو قصيرا, then whether this trip were long or short, كان الولد المميز وغيره مع المقيم من الأبوين حتى يعود المسافر منهما. Okay. Then, so if this trip were long or short, then this discerning child, or otherwise, this child, discerning or otherwise, shall be with the residing parent, the one who's not traveling, until the traveling parent returns. ولو أراد أحد الأبوين سفر نقلة, says نقلة, I know it as نقلة. فلو أراد أحد الأبوين سفر نقلة, if one of the two parents wanted to take a trip of relocating, wants to move, فالأب أولى, if one of them, this means if either one, فالأب أولى من الأم بحضانته, then the father will be more deserving of custody than the mother. فينزعه منها, he may then take the child from her. That's how he says it. ينزعه. Subhanallah. Like, how do you take off a shirt, for example? How do you take your shirt off? As if he's saying, you could take the child. Child's holding the mom's hand. Mommy! Yeah, subhanallah. It's okay, it's okay. Dad's going to take care of it. Inshallah. وَالشَّرْطُ السَّابِعُ, the seventh condition is al-khulu. أي خلو أم المميز من زوج, being single, meaning for the mother of this discerning child to be clear of a husband. لَيْسَ مِنْ مَحَارِمِ الطِّفْلِ, a husband who is not a relative of the child. If the mother has a husband, then the father is more deserving of custody unless her husband, her new husband, is a relative of a mahram amongst the maharim of the child. Like what? Like she got divorced from her husband and married his brother. That's valid. Or someone else. Then she'll keep the right to custody. فإن نكحت شخصا من محارمه كعم الطفل أو ابن عمه أو ابن أخيه ورضي كل منهم بالمميز فلا تسقط حضانتها بذلك. So if she married a person amongst his relatives, the relatives of the child, such as the child's uncle, that's her ex's brother, or the child's cousin, yani, the child's uncle's son. Child has an uncle that's the brother of his father. The brother of his father has a son. That's the child's cousin. She married the cousin. أو ابن أخيه, or married his nephew, because it's possible for the nephew to be older. وَرَضِيَ كُلٌّ مِّنْهُمْ بِالْمُمَيِّزِ, and any one of these husbands accepts this discerning child, فَلَا تَسْقُطُ حَضَانَتُهَا بِذَلِكَ, then her right to custody will not be dropped. فَإِنْ اخْتَلَّ شَرْطٌ مِّنْهَا, and if any one of these conditions is lacking, أي السبعة في الأم, any of these seven are missing in the mother, سقطت حضانتها, then her right to custody is dropped, كما تقدم شرحه مفصلا, as already presented in detail. Wallahu a'lam, Allah knows best. That's the end of the book of marriage. In the book of Abu Shuja, the text of Abu Shuja, the next book is Kitabul Jinayat, the book of assaults. But we're not going to go there. Our plan has been to now go to the book of marriage, level 3. Any question? Yeah, that means we're going to start from the beginning. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So can you go back to my question from the beginning? I asked, is that for all 4 the method? For the 7
these 7 conditions?
Yes.
No. It reached me that according to Abu Hanifa, it reached me according to Abu Hanifa, the father always has the right to custody. But I didn't take that from someone who studied Hanafi school strongly, as far as I know. So you could double check that if you want.
All right, inshallah. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sayyidi, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
When you mentioned the uncle of the child, the discerning child, I think you said it's the ex's brother.
The brother of the ex-husband.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And can we go back the text? I had a question as well.
Yes.
About something Abu Shuja mentioned before regarding the mother. You said if she can't. Before, let me just remember. I think here.
فإذا امتنعت الزوجة من حضانة ولدها انتقلت الحضانة لأمهاتها.
Yeah, isn't it here امتنعت, she willingly refrained from, and not if she can't? I mean, what do you mean by can't? She couldn't
yeah,
take...
that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. I would have said that if I were translating what it looks like, but I said it the way I remember taking it from Sheikh Samir.
Ah, so what you took, if she couldn't
Yeah.
take his custody or take care of him, I mean.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Jazakallah khairan.
MashaAllah.
سيدي, هنا حاشية, right? حاشية النسب, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Yeah, my question is also about the brother of the the ex-husband.
Yeah.
What if there is a friction for the fact that the woman marry his brother and the father of the child doesn't want him around his kids? What does I mean?
I don't know. I haven't learned about these details. And what's mentioned here is just basic rule.
Okay.
Yani, we want to here investigate. Does the woman keep the right to custody or not? So we're going to say, did she get married? Let's say, yeah, she got married. So automatically she loses the right to custody. Now there's a detail, which is what? Well, she could have married a relative of the child, like the brother of her ex-husband. Then it's possible for her to keep the right to custody. So there's no, up until here, there's no investigation into any other case, and I haven't learned.
Okay. All right. Barakallahu fiqh.
And me, what people. MashaAllah. Then, so what I'm going to leave you with, when it is the man's right to the custody, hand over his child. If he's thinking that child, he has the right to custody, and yeah, if he has the right to custody, so means then you hand over the child. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.